Hello and welcome to today's workout, which is going to be all about preventing neck tension. So neck tension is something that a lot of us have, and more often than not it's to do with our lifestyle. So even now I can feel that I'm a bit slouching when I'm sitting and my head feels a little bit forward, and all that leads to the muscles in the neck having to overwork. So just a little bit of background. So the head weighs 5 kilograms. So to keep it supported, it needs to be on the top of the spine, nicely in between the shoulders. But from today's lifestyle, which is we're on our phones, we're on the computer, there's a lot of forward posture, which means the head is, I'll say it this way, means the head comes forward, and then the neck muscles at the back become lengthened and overwork. So what can we do? So in order to prevent neck tension, we need to work our postural muscles. So we need to work the core so we have a strong abs. We need to have good breathing techniques, and we need to strengthen the upper back extensors. So we do those in all the Pilates exercises I do, but I just wanted to show you today just a few tips and maybe things to watch out for when you're doing those exercises to make sure you're not creating more neck tension rather than strengthening to relieve it. So if you have a towel, that would be helpful. So if you need to hit pause, do that. The towel is really just so, because we're going to start sitting with some breathing, and sometimes it's a little bit more comfortable to get into a vertical position if you're sat on a towel. So I want you to sit cross-legged, either on the towel or off the towel, or on a yoga brick, or even a couple of thick books, just to lift you up a little bit so you can get into a nice vertical position. Okay, I want us to start from the bottom. So the bottom is going to be the pelvic floor, okay? So we need that to be nice and lifted up. We now need to make sure that our ribs are nice and open and we're not slouching forward like this. We need to be nice and vertical. Our ribs are nice and open to allow us to breathe through the diaphragm effectively. The shoulders are nice and relaxed, and the head is over the shoulders. Okay, so when we're in this position, I want you to just put your hands on your rib cage, and I want you to inhale and feel the rib cage expanding to the sides and to the back. Okay, so it's all about lateral and posterior breathing. So if you only breathe into your chest and your neck or into your tummy, you're not using the whole of the diaphragm. Okay, so we need to inhale and then exhale. When you breathe out, I want you to lift up that pelvic floor to get and contract the abs to get the last little bit of air out. Okay, so we'll do a couple more like that. And out. So when you're breathing, make sure that you're not breathing from the shoulders. So you're not lifting your shoulders up as you're breathing in. Okay, those shoulders need to be nice and relaxed. And just do one more. And exhale. Okay, so now I just want you to roll the shoulders forward, so isolating the shoulders. So I don't want you to use the neck, okay? It's just a tiny movement, just using the shoulders to just lift up and round. Okay, and then going back. So you should feel the shoulder blades warming up a little bit on your back. Okay, and then I just want you to take the ear to one shoulder, making sure you're still in that nice vertical seated position, and lift up, and the other side. And lifting up. Okay, so now I want you to squeeze the sort of top of your shoulder. I want you to hunch your shoulder up and just squeeze the top of the shoulder, just where that muscle often gets tense, and then release, and then one more, squeeze it and release. Okay, now do the other side, squeeze and release, squeeze and release. Okay, so hopefully that makes you feel a little bit looser already. So we're now going to go down onto the mat. So rolling down onto our backs. Okay, so we need to be in a nice neutral pelvis, which pelvis is nice and flat. We've got that little gap between the lower back and the mat. Our feet are hip distance apart. We're going to go into some ab prep, but I just want you to focus on the neck alignment. Actually, we're going to do head nods first. Forgot. Sorry. Okay. So, lying straight, I just want you to lengthen the back of your neck as your eye gaze goes to your kneecaps, and then take it back up to the ceiling. Okay, inhale to prepare, exhale, just nod that chin, and then look straight back up again. So it's just a lengthening of the neck. Okay, so that is the first movement we always do when we go into our ab exercises. So if you now take your head in your hands, and I want you to make your head as heavy as it can be. It's completely relaxed in your hands. You can see your elbows out the corner of your eyes. Okay, I want you to inhale to prepare, exhale, eye gaze goes to the kneecaps, and then you're going to glide those ribs towards the pelvis, and then lower down. Good. So the focus here is making sure that head remains heavy in your hands. The eye gaze always goes to the kneecaps, so the head is nice and supported, and you have no neck strain at all. Okay, so I don't want you to be tugging on the neck and the chin going to the chest. There's just a nice little gap, and it's in perfect alignment. Good, so let's do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so I'm now going to move on to a single leg extension where your head and chest are lifted, and just some things to watch out for when we're doing those exercises. So now I want you to use your abdominals to tip that pelvis into a flatter back or an imprint position. Take one knee to tabletop, the other knee to tabletop. Hold on behind the thighs and come up to a chest lifted position. Okay, so you need to be quite high on those shoulder blades to make sure that the head is nice and supported over the chest. Okay, so what you don't want is for your head to go back, because you can already see the strain I'm putting on my neck. It is so important that you keep your head here. If you feel you can't keep your head there any longer, then lower the head down or support it with one hand. Okay. So let's go into our single leg exercise. So we stretch. Good. Keep lifted. Okay. The more you lift, the more the work is focused in the abdominals and is nothing in the neck. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. So now we're going to go on to our double leg stretch exercise. And again, I'm just going to give you a few tips here on how to make sure you're not straining that neck. So lifting high up onto the tips of the shoulder blades. Okay, so for here, we lift our hat off our head as the legs go long and circle it around. Okay, so lift and up. If this is too much, you just do the legs. Okay, or you do one hand. The essence of the exercise is an abdominal exercise. What I don't want it to do is strain your neck further. So keep lifted. And let's do for 3, 2, and 1. And hugging in. Excellent. So we're going to roll over onto our tummy to do some back extension exercises. Okay, so lying flat on the mat. So as I always say to you, glutes and hamstrings are pulling down, abs are lifted to support the lower back. We're focusing on the neck today. So when we're lying in a prone position, or we're lying tummy on the mat, face down, Your neck needs to stay as a continuation of the spine. So at no point does your head drop down like that or lift up like that. Okay, it's got to keep in a lovely alignment to make sure all that work is in those back extensor muscles, which we're going to use to help take away neck strain. Okay, so just lifting up and lowering down. Remember to keep those abs switched on. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. Good. So now taking your arms so your palms are facing the hips. So now when we're in this, well, I call it the Ironman flying position, we're lifting up. Again, my head is in alignment with my spine. It's not dropped or hyperextended, okay? It's nice and in line. And we're just moving the arms to a T and back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, lower down, and just rock that pelvis from side to side. And we're now going to come onto a 4-point kneeling position and look at our neck alignment then. So moulding the hands in, so the wrists are angled slightly in. We're pushing through those hands, slight bend on the elbow. So my neck is in a nice alignment, so I'm not dropping the neck. I'm not hyperextending the neck. It is just in a nice alignment. So we're going to put the knees together, feet together, tuck the toes under, and we're just going to hover those knees off the mat for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. And again, let's lift up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees down. So this time, we're going to take the knees back to hip distance apart. We're going to hover the knees off, step one leg back, step the other leg back, and we're going to hold in a plank position. So the weight is evenly distributed. I'm pushing through my hands to make sure the shoulders are supported. I'm bracing those abdominals. I'm pushing through my heels to make sure that the backs of the legs are all engaged. The whole posterior chain here is working. Everything that leads up to that neck and head at the top. And let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees in. Just widen the heels. Widen the knees, sorry. Come into a rest pose. Now come back to 4-point kneeling. And we're going to thread one arm through and just lean into that to release the shoulder. And then we're going to go to the other side. And then I want us to come back into the cross-leg position that we started in. So if you have a towel, just fold the towel. So let's go from our normal slouchy position to our nice lifted position with our head completely in line with the shoulders. Okay, and we're just going to go back to that breathing. So we inhale, really filling the sides and the back of the rib cage. And exhale, pushing out all that air, using those abdominals and lifting that pelvic floor to get the last little bit of air out. 2 more. And last one. And let's just finish with just those shoulder rolls again. And back. And you're done. So I hope that helps you understand more how a lot of neck pain is a result of our postural habits and the bad habits that we've got into, and how all the Pilates exercises are working to help you relieve neck tension. But you do not want to create neck tension yourself when you're doing the exercises by doing them with bad form. So keeping that neck in a good alignment, or if you can't support the neck, lowering the head and building that strength in the abdominals until you can support the head and chest is far better than creating more neck tension. So tomorrow we're going to be doing a back to basics workout. So I'm going to take you back to do a basic routine using the essential exercises in the stock repertoire, but to show you what a really solid, effective workout you can get without doing anything too fancy. Okay, so I'll see you back here tomorrow. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video. Thanks a lot. Bye.